This is Dakota News Now, your first alert station.
Our news continues here at 10 o'clock. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Allen. Kara is away from the desk tonight. The plans to build a new convention center in Sioux Falls may be slowing down for now. The committee in charge of finding a path forward for planning the facility says until more partners step up to the plate, there's little they can do. Cooper Seamer in studio with our top story here tonight. Hello, Cooper.
Brian, the steering committee has reviewed 2 studies now about putting a new convention center at the Riverline District, but they voted tonight to pause their work until more heavy lifting comes from the mayor's office and city council. The Riverline Steering Committee has approved the purchase of land, and they've read the fine details from 2 studies on building a new convention center downtown. But now things are coming to a pause. The committee says 3 of their objectives, create a timeline, designing and pricing a new convention center, and timing out a public vote, are left to do. But they say they can't make any more progress on those as things sit right now.
So when we look at it from that perspective, my perspective is that our work as a committee has really come to a pause point. Because it doesn't make a lot of sense to work on those 3 things until we know we've got strong community engagement and support for a convention center vision.
What they argue is that the mayor and city council need to start formal discussions with community partners about making a case for a convention center and building public support for it. That can be burdened with the mayoral election coming up next year.
We need to find an entity that can build a case for this. If convention center is what we need, then we need to build a case for that, whether it's on the Riverline side or somewhere else. We need to build a case for a convention center, period.
But some committee members say there isn't that much time left before a decision needs to be made. If the committee does pause its work, they will need to revisit some of the steps they've already taken and even possibly spend more money.
This doesn't sit on the shelf for 5 years and then pull off, and now the economic data that's in this report is still relevantly current. And so the longer we wait to have these conversations, the more dated this becomes. And I can't imagine that this was a $500 report to put together.
So some of them are urging key partners and decision makers to continue the discussion of a convention center and act decisively.
I would just encourage us, while we probably need to push pause now, not to really take our foot off the gas, but to determine really some solid next steps to really move this forward.
As all of this discussion takes place, the clock is ticking on something to be built on the 7.2 acres on the east bank of the Big Sioux River. As part of the city's purchase agreement, State Partners LLC has the option to repurchase that land if no construction starts in 5 years. Almost 11 months have passed since the city council adopted that agreement.